black voters in the state. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. Great news. Sunlux has the all-new Tesla Powerwall 3 in stock. It's ready and waiting for you when you go solar with Sunlux. Learn more at sunlux.com, sunlux.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Kawhi Leonard's return to the lineup last night was not enough to inspire a win for the Clippers against Dallas. The Clippers lost by 3. The best-of-7 playoff series is even at a game apiece. Luka Doncic had a game-high 32 points and 9 assists. The Clippers were fortunate to lose by only 3. They shot a season-low 36%. In his first game since March 31st, Kawhi played 35 minutes. He had 15 points and 7 rebounds. Kawhi's right knee seemed to hold up pretty well. The question is, will he be healthy for Game 3 Friday night in Dallas? Don't be surprised if Lakers coach Darvin Ham shakes up his starting lineup for Game 3 Thursday night against Denver. Rui Hachimura has been a non-factor in the first 2 games. Hachimura has made only 3 of 11 shots and has only 4 free throw attempts. For a guy playing 34 minutes a game, the Lakers need a lot more production from him. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California. Home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@kbla1580.com. That's advertising at kbla1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you black.
Never would have made it. Never could have made it without you. I would have lost it all. But now I see how you were there for me, and I can say never would have made it. Never could have made it without you. I would have lost it all. But now I see how you were there for me, and I can say I'm stronger, I'm wiser, I'm better, much better. When I look back over all you brought me through, I can see that you were the one I held on to, and I
KBLA Talk 1580. Dominique DiPrima, and I'm welcoming you in. So glad you could be with here this morning. I would like to introduce to you a woman who is a pastor. She is a mama and the creator of a nonprofit organization, Justice for Evan Lee, Custody to Casket. She'll tell us about that and what she's doing, her work there. She is the mother of Evan Griffin Lee. Reverend Jacilet Griffin, good morning. Miss Griffin, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you so much for allowing me this space. To each of you there at the station, greetings from Houston, Texas.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us. Um, I guess the best thing to do is to start with the story of what happened to your son, Evan Griffin Lee. Um, you are located in Houston, Texas, and he was killed 3/22/22 about 2 years ago, almost exactly 2 years ago. Tell us the story of what happened, as far as you know.
Yes, very unfortunately, my son was arrested wrongfully and without any type of warrants, and he was held in one county, in Fort Bend County, and transported over to Harris County. I was told that he needed to speak with a judge. However, as time passed, I tried and get my son out, and with no avail. I reached out to so many elected officials trying to get him released, and unfortunately, I got a phone call from Bentop Hospital that my son needed emergency surgery. And at that time, I started to reach out to the jail to try and find out what was going on, with no avail at that time as well. And as I completed so many phone calls to try and get to see my son, on a Saturday morning, I got the phone call, and which was the 19th of March of 2022, and it was about 10 a.m. His father went to the hospital, and we were told that Evan was not there. And he was at the hospital from 11 a.m. until about 3:45 p.m. And we did reach an understanding that he was there, but in custody of Harris County Sheriff Department, and we would not be able to see him. Um, from that Saturday to that Tuesday, we called so many times. And the doctor called me that Tuesday morning, the 22nd, and told me that he would advocate for me to see my son because they did not like what they were witnessing. So I had just had a major shoulder surgery, and I got together with family and many other church members, and we went to the hospital. As we arrived at Bentop Hospital in Houston, we arrived there about 2:45, and they told us we couldn't see him. So the head surgeon there, the neurologist, Dr. Schaub, he stated that when he get off at 7, if they don't allow us to see him, that he was going to allow us to see him. He would advocate for us. So about 7 p.m., when he got ready to leave his shift, he told us to just go ahead and go up. He gave us direction where to go, and we did so. As we approached my son Evan's bed, he was on a ventilator and in a coma. We had no clue of his conditions.
Wow.
And so at that time, everybody spoke, and the nurse said he was already. They deemed him brain dead at 5:45 p.m. that same day while we were there in the building. But no one tried to contact us, and my information is right there in all the files with the jail along with the hospital. And I was in such a distraught along with his father, my mother, and his siblings, and so many others. And at that time, I was able to speak with the officers that was there at his bedside, and they asked me to leave immediately. And of course, I refused to do so. They called for backup there, and the Harris County Sheriff Department had about 15 to 20 officers came in asking me to leave. Me and my family, we refused to leave, and I got media involved. And they told me, okay, since you don't want to leave, we're going to take him to the morgue anyway. And I said, no, you're
Wow.
not. No, you're not. And so the head nurse told me, she said, the only way that he could stay here if you sign to give his organs. If he an organ donor, then he get to stay. Other than that, we had to move him right this minute. It was such a moment for my family members, but praise God for my Christianity and me being able to be patient and able to make some sound decisions at that time. Everyone else was breaking down. And I was able to make the decision to go ahead and do so and offer his organs and be a donor. And that's how I was able to get information from the hospital staff and just to get a lot of, at that very moment, things that mattered. And I don't wish this on anybody's address, but at that moment, I took pictures. And so when I spoke with the media, when it came on TV that afternoon, that night, many people told me that, why do he have an orange jumpsuit on and he's a mental ill patient, and they know that. And that's how I was able to find out that he was housed in the wrong location at the jail. And I was able to be with my son about 12 days after that. And he was able to save 2 lives. The third life, they lost life during the transplant, but he was able to save 2 lives of the liver and the kidney. But the bad thing is there was no transparency from the Harris County Sheriff Department whatsoever. I understand even he was there in an era, regardless if he was in their custody, they still should have spoke with the family, knowing that he was at, life or death situation. And
I mean, this story
to
brings
be
up so
able,
many questions, Reverend Griffin. I mean, there's just, and I want to go through those questions. They told you that your son would be transported to the morgue immediately if you didn't agree to give up his internal organs?
correct.
It seems like a kind of extortion. You said for you, you were able to remain level-headed, and you felt that if it gave you more time with your son, and allowed him to do some service, that was worth it.
Yes, I felt that it was well worth it. I mean, at least I had time to see if there was anything else that they could do medically to save my son, and I was able to be educated on the process as well. Therefore, I could share with someone else, at a time like that. I did not know before this happened to Evan that if your brain is without oxygen for so long, it's impossible for it to regain its connectivity and activities.
Right.
And so that raises the question as to how long was he unconscious before they got him medical help.
Mm. You also mentioned that, well, a lot of stuff. I'm kind of working backwards here. That the police told you to leave and you refused. Did they try to remove you? Did they try to arrest you or members of your family?
No, they did not. They respected my words and my request that they give me. I asked them to just get away from me and give me time. You've already taken my son's life at this moment. And, he called for backup, but they all got in a huddle together. And when I knew anything, they all left out another door. They excused themselves without any other words or incidents happening, which, I praise God for that. But
yeah, that sounds like a
one of the
miracle in
officers,
itself.
yeah, one of the officers, but he said it, he said, well, we didn't know that he was in the hospital. He said, and I'm one of the persons that they supposed to report this type of incident to. He said, we didn't know, and
I mean, they knew well enough to be there in the room with him.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was not able to respond, a very good way to him, with my son lying there,
Of course.
lifeless. And I explained to them that, it's no excuse that you could give me, after 4 days, of me pleading to your agency to find out what happened to my son. Up until this day, today, that agency has not reached out to our family. It's like he's still there or something.
Wow.
They have not said, sorry, or a postcard, or they have not said one word to our family.
When you finally, so you haven't talked to the agency at all, but how did they communicate to the press? Like, how did you get the official story of what they say happened to
Yes.
Evan Lee, your child?
Yes, I got stories through the media, and they told 3 different lies on what happened to my son. On the first occasion, ABC 13, Eyewitness Houston, they told them that he had a stomach ache. He swallowed something. About the 3rd day, Fox 26, they told them that he had gotten in a fight. Okay. Well, on the 3rd occasion, they told Channel 2 that he was playing some games of flat boxing. And I find none of that to be true because of so many communications that I've received about what happened to him. It's very sad. But as I've had to swallow this bubble of pain, I have just tremendously turned this pain into total purpose and founding and organizing a nonprofit organization to help other families that's going through this very situation, this very story, and this very circumstance, and helping them with their grief process, along with helping those and giving a mental illness awareness. Because as I started to speak about this situation that happened to my son in 2022, no one in Houston, Texas had spoke about this jail death. My son was number 35 of that year of in custody death in Houston, Texas.
Reverend Griffin, we'll delve into that. I want to talk about the work that you're doing, the event that you have upcoming, and the way that the information continues to drip, drip, drip out. Plus, I want to learn a little bit about your son in life. Evan Lee, say his name. We're continuing our conversation on KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
City of Los Angeles tenants, verify your Emergency Renters Assistance Program status today if you applied for the program. Tenants approved for rental assistance are protected from eviction for non-payment of rent through May 31st, 2024. And it's illegal under law for landlords to refuse rental assistance to you based on your source of income. Refusing assistance can be used as an affirmative defense in an eviction case. So check your application status now at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
A Gain Scent Beads story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said, "Maraca, senor," but his nose said, "Hey, freshest scent ever." Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, "Sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing." Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain Scent Beads. Try Gain Scent Beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, services and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up. KBLA Talk 1580.
And I do appreciate you. We are talking with Reverend Jacilet Griffin. Her son, Evan Lee, died or was murdered, I guess you now know, in custody of Harris County Jail. You said, you told a story of how it unfolded from your perspective, and you were telling us how you didn't ever receive contact from that sheriff's department, but you were receiving information only through media reports, which were not consistent. And that as you delved further, you found that these in-custody deaths or murders are pretty common, and started your organization. Talk to me about that. Let's start there, about the work that you're doing with your organization.
Yes. Once I started to reach out to media, I found out so many other families started to reach out to me, and that's when I checked the state records and noticed that there were 35 in-custody deaths that happened that same year. And it was an ongoing situation, and most of these families have the same identical story, which I tell them we are more than a story, but it is very disrespectful and uncommon for this to happen. And as I recognize in the United States Armed Services, those that are killed while in services, they're honored. So why is someone killed in the custody of our entrusted law enforcement? How is it they are treated so bad and not one single transparency about it? I feel that it's just totally deeply wrong. And as I was very angry, I decided to take a good thing out of this, because two wrongs don't make a right. And the word of God says to not be injustice, with, injustice. You can't do that. And so I decided to go ahead and name an organization after Evan. And not only Justice for Evan, Custody to Casket, I authored a bill in Evan's name, House Bill 3434 in the Texas House, and that bill made a record. It made history. It went across the House so quickly in 2023, but it got hung up in the Senate in the 88th session, and now it is called a special bill, House Bill 80. This is a bill that will help Harris County Jail in their situation. They say they're overcrowded and they're understaffed. And so this bill will help them by having a third-party agency to help them make decisions and help them stay within their jail standards.
Is it you're talking like a monitoring kind of scenario?
Correct. Since I've started this, they did agree to go ahead and have the officers, the detention officers that work in there, they have body cams now. And so I think that was a great start. At least they're listening and trying to cooperate. But at the same time, their policies and their standards have been out of standards of the State of Texas Jail Commission since 2016. And it's notated in the Texas Jail Commission agendas and meetings.
Molly Bell, who is an activist here in Los Angeles, where the radio station is based, has a few questions, which I think are great follow-ups. She wants to know, do you have an attorney, and what is your attorney saying about all of this?
Yes, I have an attorney. I'm being represented by attorney Iskut Ben Crump, LLC, And since they've taken the case, we have gotten some answers, and we filed a legal civil rights lawsuit in Houston, Texas on August the 9th of 2023. And along with 23 other families at that time, but now it's 29 families that has joined with us that have the same identical story.
It's terrible.
And also there are some families who experience the beatings, this blunt force trauma, which is all the autopsy says for a lot of these.
Right, right. Since you bring that up, Reverend Griffin, in your son's case, it took you guys over a year to even get a hold of the autopsy. They were not making it available to you. When you finally got it, it said that your son died from blunt force trauma.
Correct.
And
yes,
was
over a year
and was otherwise relatively healthy, and this was labeled a homicide.
Yes, it was. It stated there as well that the Texas Rangers ruled his death a homicide in December 2022, but we didn't have anything facts to say. But they told that to the media, but I didn't have a autopsy or anything to verify that. So therefore, I could not move forward with any legal representation because at that time everything is hearsay. Nothing was on paper. The death certificate, nothing. I had anything at that time. Therefore, we could not move forward with any type of, help to try and get something done about this or to get some answers from them. And so once we did get the autopsy, it did state that, it was blunt force trauma and it was homicide. And therefore, it say afflictions. And so therefore, and a fixation, therefore, someone else did this to him. And so my thing is how the Harris County DA did not move forward with a grand jury to try to find out who's responsible for my son's death.
And I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that of those 29 families, most of them have not had the law enforcement department to move forward as you have seen not happening with your son.
Correct. Each story is pretty much the same. And also I had people that reached out to me. Some of them, they live past their abuse and the beatings of that. One guy is, paralyzed, paraplegic. But, we have some of them, I think about 2 families out of the entire lawsuit that they did survive. They're living. But there's the others that are, unfortunate. They lost their lives. But the event that's coming up on April the 27th is a second-year memorial that we're having for Evan.
Yes. We're about to go into news, traffic, and sports here. We will get to that on the other side. I know you have an event coming up on the 27th. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that. I do want to learn about your son. The Texas Rangers, though, for those not familiar, that is the statewide law enforcement. That's Texas State Police, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So, so this is the sheriff. You have the county sheriffs in the Texas State Police, both involved in this case on some level.
Yes, correct. But since it happened in their custody, they cannot investigate their own cases. Therefore, the state has to take over. The Texas Rangers have to come in to investigate.
Okay.
They can't investigate their own cases.
Yeah, and I know people are invited to this event you have, so we'll share that information. I want to learn a little bit more about Evan. All that straight ahead on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is meeting with college leaders amidst ongoing pro-Palestinian protests aiming to prevent escalation. Adams, who is black, emphasizes that schools like Columbia and NYU are for education, not managing volatile situations. He warns of outside agitators inciting violence, urging schools to tighten security and identify non-students on campus. President Biden is set to speak at the commencement ceremony for one of the country's top historically black colleges. Biden will speak at Morehouse College for the ceremony scheduled on Sunday, May 19th. Posts on social media have been calling for students at the college to stage a walkout in protest of Biden's support for Israel. Biden has reiterated support for the country in the wake of the Israel-Hamas war. Both Biden and former President Trump have been campaigning around Georgia to influence black voters in the state. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. Great news. Sunlux has the all-new Tesla Powerwall 3 in stock. It's ready and waiting for you when you go solar with Sunlux. Learn more at sunlux.com, sunlux.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Kawhi Leonard's return to the lineup last night was not enough to inspire a win for the Clippers against Dallas. The Clippers lost by 3. The best-of-7 playoff series is even at a game apiece. Luka Doncic had a game-high 32 points and 9 assists. The Clippers were fortunate to lose by only 3. They shot a season-low 36%. In his first game since March 31st, Kawhi played 35 minutes. He had 15 points and 7 rebounds. Kawhi's right knee seemed to hold up pretty well. The question is, will he be healthy for Game 3 Friday night in Dallas? Don't be surprised if Lakers coach Darvin Ham shakes up his starting lineup for Game 3 Thursday night against Denver. Rui Hachimura has been a non-factor in the first 2 games. Hachimura has made only 3 of 11 shots and has only 4 free throw attempts. For a guy playing 34 minutes a game, the Lakers need a lot more production from him. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's time for California Community College's Black Student Success Week. This week-long event, held April 22nd through the 26th, is an opportunity to focus on innovative approaches to ensuring Black and African American students succeed in their educational pursuits. Black Student Success Week 2024, building a better future together. The urgency is now. For more information, visit blackstudentsuccess.com. That's blkstudentsuccess.com.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Hi, I'm Reverend Gerald, host of Urban Family Focus here on KBLA Talk 1580 on Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. In an effort to help reduce the impact of hypertension in our community, Providence is offering free hypertension assessments. The first 30 people to visit KBLA1580.com and use the link or QR code to register will receive 2 tickets to the Amazing Grace Conservatory presentation of Aladdin, A Whole New World for Real, at the Crenshaw Performing Arts Center, May 25th and 26th. Go to KBLA1580.com right now and be one of the first 30 to register for your hypertension screening and receive 2 tickets to Aladdin, compliments of Providence and KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
We're talking with Reverend Jacilet Griffin. Her son, Evan Griffin Lee, was murdered in custody of the Harris County Sheriff's Department, now being investigated by Texas Rangers. She was not contacted, never given any information, her or her family, she says, and now has taken information in dribs and drabs from the media, contradictory stories, 3 different stories she shared with us of what law enforcement was telling the media happened to her son. Finally, last summer, they received an autopsy showing that it was, in fact, ruled homicide and blunt force trauma was the cause. When you and I were communicating, Reverend Griffin, by email, you said that your son was having a mental health challenge at the time and that he was wrongfully arrested. How do you know he was wrongfully arrested? What was going on with him? And also, let's learn about Evan, the guy outside of this whole tragedy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I would like to clarify that Evan was walking from the store that day when he was arrested. He did not have a crisis or anything. I just stated that he was a mentally challenged person. He was a patient. And I just wanted to mention that.
I see.
He did have those diagnoses. However, he was on his day off on a Tuesday and walking from the store. And the police reports say he looked like a escapee, a prison escapee. I don't know what a prison escapee looked like because they called me and asked me, did he have a probation officer? I told them no. And they told me they were going to call me back. I didn't get a call back. I got a call from Evan that he was incarcerated. And I said, what did they take you for? You know, and I was trying to find out what he do, what happened, you know? And he was just simply walking. Nothing happened. And he was held and then sent over to Harris County. And my understanding, there was an error in the system. And Evan wrote to the judge. I have the letter. He wrote, say, please clear the error in the system so I can get back to my job and my family. Evan was a high school graduate. He was a high school football athlete, awarded, very, very smart academically. And he graduated in Fort Bend County School District. He also was a chemical engineer major who graduated from Fields Academy with honors on chemical engineer. Evan was on his job when he was arrested for 4 years, and he was a warehouse lead, loved to work, loved his family, loved the community. Evan helped during the crisis of COVID so much. He, one of the persons out of the community donated him a vehicle so that he could have his own vehicle to go to work because he would walk to work. And he didn't want to, you know, inconvenience any of us taking him back and forth because we lived in a rural area. And Evan was a magnet student. I mean, he was smart from elementary.
Wow.
You know, and the elementary school that he attended, Evan was one of those who created a program for those who were extremely smart and they were able to excel to another grade, you know, by their report of their academics, you know. And Evan was a very, very courageous person as well.
A father?
He did not have any children. He was 31 years old at his death.
Mm. So I know you must miss him every single day. As a mom, I just can't even get my mind around it.
Yes, Evan was such a good. I mean, I keep grabbing my phone and going to his name because he was one of those. He was my second child, but Evan was one of those every single morning say, "Mama, you okay? Mama, you okay? Mama, you up yet?" I'm out, I done went to work and came home because he would go to work at 4 in the morning and he'd get off around 10 or 11. And so he's like, I done did my day's work, y'all, so I'm finna go over here and fix on me a motorbike. He would fix motorbikes for scratch, for many people in the neighborhood, and he wouldn't charge anything. He loved to ride those dirt bikes and fix them up and make one dirt bike into a whole different thing from what it was created to be. But that's something that he loved to do. Very mechanical, smart in a lot of different areas.
Wow. You say you turned your pain into purpose, and clearly you have because you're helping other families and you've started this organization. But how do you do that? How do you do that?
I have to tell you that, the last conversation Evan and I had before this happened on that Sunday, we were sitting on my patio. And he told me, he said, Mama, has anything happened to me? He said, you're going to be the strong one. I know you're going to do everything that you normally do to help everybody around this world. And I had to respond to that conversation, the last living testimonies from him. I know that Evan would be very happy to hear that doctors flew into Houston from across the world, different countries, to harvest his organs. I feel like he would be proud of that. And to know that, there's other people's lives that were saved and, these people got a second chance of life out of his organs. I think Evan would be very happy of that. The only thing is when I go to the cemetery and sit at his grave, I don't feel that he's at peace because I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
And that is the only problem right now. We can't bring Evan back, but we have so many families that we have reached out to, and they've reached out to us, and we've made a difference. And I think Evan will be super proud of that. His spirit, I feel, will be so happy to know that his situation is helping so many others, from their grieving process to, recognizing that mental illness is real. And when you have a traumatic situation like this, your body responds to that. And you have to take care of your mental health. That's your brain. And so you have to take care of that organ just like you take care of your heart and all your other organs. And so many people have been very fun to meet me and to be affiliated with this organization. We meet every Sunday by Zoom, and to have so many people involved with our agency as far as the Federal Bureau of Investigations. I've connected with colleges across the nation, to just bring awareness on injustice along with knowing your civil rights.
And you're having your second annual Justice Memorial Conference in just a few days.
Yes, correct. It'll be on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. From 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., we'll be in Houston at the Helmed Missionary Baptist Church, 3000 Fuquay in Houston, Texas, 77045. We will be there, and we'll be honoring Benjamin Crump, LLC, along with Dr. Joe Samuel Ratliff of Brentwood Baptist Church, along with many others, Larissa Harris, who created
the book Qualified Immunity. Yeah, the court's brainchild and the license to kill. Wow, there's an author I'd love to talk to. Are you guys going to be streaming it? Is there a way for people in other markets, if they're on the East Coast, the West Coast, or parts in between, to see what you're doing?
We have not planned to live stream at all, unfortunately.
Okay.
But if that happens, I definitely would try and give you all that information. If we do so, I'll make sure that you have that.
Thank you.
I appreciate the publicity and to be able to communicate about this. It means a lot to me and my family to have other ears across the nation And the young lady was a student at the time. I had an event on Texas Southern campus here in Houston, and she said, I want to do something for Evan. I don't know what it is. She said, but I'm going to do something. And as I've been advocating, I ran across her, and she was able to get my information. She says, I'm an attorney now, and this is what I did, and it makes a big difference to see something, an impact.
The FBI is going to be there and doing a presentation. When we come forward, I want you to share with us what the FBI is doing there, what role Crime Stoppers is playing, and how we, the public, can help. Besides saying his name, Evan Lee, what can we do to support your quest for justice for Evan and others who mysteriously die in custody? You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Tips to help improve your credit score in 2024. Establishing credit is an important key to achieving financial health, but building a credit history from scratch can feel challenging since you need credit to build credit. First, what does it mean to build credit? All consumers have a score between 300 and 850. You want your score to be as high as possible as lenders look at your credit score to make loan and credit decisions. A good credit score shows you have a track record of borrowing money responsibly. Remember, it's never too late to build or rebuild your credit. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase & Company.
Are you tired of being stuck without internet access? Connect and go with LA County Library. It's simple. Visit your local LA County Library location and borrow a hotspot for free to get Wi-Fi wherever you are.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1893 $10 gold Liberty coins has been found. These gorgeous 1893p gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed an 1893 gold Liberty struck at the iconic Philadelphia Mint. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1893 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 131 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-473-3993. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus, a $50 value free with every order. Call 1-800-473-3993 now to secure your 1893p $10 gold Liberty coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-473-3993.
Hello, this is Dr. Rosa Milligan calling authors and business owners to register now for Black Writers on Tour plus Business and Tech Expo Saturday, April 27th, 10 to 3 p.m. at the Carson Community Center.
Authors, aspiring writers, learn how to write, publish, and sell your book. Business owners, let people know where you're at. Call 323-750-3592. It's a free event. You heard right, free. And there's something for everybody. Go to blackwritersontour.com and register today. 323-750-3592.
Literacy and technology is everybody's business. Black Writers on Tour, Saturday, April 27th, 10 to 3 p.m. Admission and parking is free. See you there, 323-750-3592. BlackWritersOnTour.com. Don't you miss it.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm-fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
We are talking with the Reverend Jacilet Griffin. She's the founder and director of Justice for Evan Lee Movement, Custody to Casket. Her son, Evan Lee, was murdered in custody of Harris County in Houston, Texas, in 2022, and she has been seeking justice, seeking answers about what exactly happened to him, and helping other families as well. Reverend Griffin, you have an event coming up on Saturday. All are welcome, I assume, at the Hiram Clark, Missionary Baptist Church, 3000 Fuqua, Houston, Texas, 77045. Ben Crump will be honored. Dr. Ratliff will be honored. The Emmett Till Legacy Foundation, Larissa Harris, author of the book Qualified Immunity, and also you said you'll have resources there. On top of that, the FBI is making a presentation. What is their part in this event?
The FBI part in this event, I feel, will be a great step to for the community to have at least a friendly relationship with the Federal Bureau of Investigations, because so many years our community felt like they were an agency that was hands off. But I want them to know that they're hands on and their ears are open and they're there for our as citizens. You know, that's our agency to help us. And so they're going to be doing a presentation on police brutality and to let you know what your rights are. And I think that makes a difference in the community to have that resource, to be knowing, you know, from the source itself where your rights lie.
Interesting.
When it comes to different things, yes.
Are they doing anything as far as investigating your son's murder?
They are.
Ah, okay. The plot thickens. Now, you still don't know exactly what happened to Evan Lee. Do you suspect? Do you have any, you feel like you're getting any clearer of a picture as the years go by and you continue to stay persistent?
As I continue to stay persistent, I have received, as I stated, many different communications from inmates, different agencies, attorneys, different people in Houston about what happened to my son. And we had someone that was incarcerated at the time who spoke with us about him being taken from his cell by 2 officers. And it's my understanding that those 2 officers beat Evan unmercifully and put him back in his cell. And so that is something that was told to me. And from everything, the results that I see from the autopsy, I can put that together. But I have no way of putting that information for truth.
Proving it,
but
right.
As we know that we know that they have cameras and video footage there. Something has to come to the light.
Yeah.
It will not continue to stay in the dark. And as I, pray and fast daily and try and keep a sound mind and heart during this situation, my prayer is that we do get a good outcome to know clearly what happened to Evan.
How can we help?
And I feel so.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The community, I put up a GoFundMe because, as I stated, going through this situation, I've not been able to stay on a job. And I've been able to do everything that I've been doing by donations and people volunteering to help me. And so I do have a GoFundMe under Justice for Evan, and the justiceforevan.org organization as well. There's information there on how you can help, and just to be an ear for us and to keep the community involved, and to get the publicity out there as to what we're experiencing, and to let these agencies know that we're no longer going to accept this and put up with this. And as I communicate with the Emmett Till Foundation and his situation, it gives me more strength and more power to fight for not only Evan but others to get answers. Therefore, we could be at peace.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you said you're praying and manifesting that you will get answers, the truth will come out, whether it's a tape or a witness coming forward or whatever it might be, that you're able to uncover through the investigation. Molly Bell also asked, what was the prayer request? And you being a pastor and all, I think that's very appropriate.
Definitely. My prayer request, as I started from my son's death, I started to have these Zoom calls on Sunday nights, and the very first prayer that came to my mind for this was asking God to get in front of this investigation, and that he put people in my life, and that we get the answers that we need for our peace of mind and our heart and our minds, so we can move forward with a normal life. And so far, so many people have came into my life from across this nation, the Netherlands, Canada, so many places I'm in network with today, and makes a difference for my life.
Well, I'm really pleased to hear that, and I just want to encourage anyone in our KBLA delegation who's out there in Texas to stop by on Saturday. What time is your convening on Saturday at the Hiram Clark Missionary Baptist Church?
From 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Okay, early risers, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And of course, if you can, $1 or $1 million, go to the GoFundMe page, Justice for Evan. You've mentioned justiceforevan.org. And say his name. I think, we've got about a minute here left, Reverend Griffin. What do you want to leave us with this morning?
Yes, in the mighty name of Jesus, I continue to strive for justice in the injustice system that we have to serve here in the United States of America, where we are told the home of the free, and our constitutional rights be respected as human beings, in custody or out of custody. It's my prayer.
Wow, that's powerful. Reverend Jacilet Griffin, thank you for sharing your story with us. Hope we'll keep in touch and we'll track your quest for justice.
Thank you so much again for having me in this space today, and everyone there at your station. Thank you for being a community involvement and impacting lives. Thank you again.
Thank you. As you know, Tavis Smiley's up next. He's got an incredible lineup today, as usual. I like to end with a quote, and this one I'm going to Angela Davis, one of our main prison abolitionists. She says, jails and prisons are designed to break human beings, to convert the population into specimens in a zoo, obedient to our keepers, but dangerous to each other. Please check in with me on social media. I'm at KBLA 1580 on all platforms. You can also find me at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, and then radio. I like to keep the conversations going all day and all night. Maxine Waters will be with me tomorrow. History is now, and we're making it together. Until Thursday, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.